You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, we got some comments that have come out by way of Davante Adams. Now, of course, Davante Adams is an all-world wide receiver. And, I actually thought, man, didn't he have a real down year? It turns out that down year was still 85 for 1,063 and 8 touchdowns. I mean, Davante Adams is good, and we know he's now signed with the LA Rams, but we have found out why he has decided to sign with the LA Rams and did not decide to stay with the Jets. Because, again, he was productive. You might have thought he might have thought about hanging around and seeing what he could have done there, right? Oh, wrong answer. Because when he found out how Aaron Glenn and the Jets treated Aaron Rodgers, he was like, nope, I'm done with y'all. I'm not going back there. He said he was shocked by how they handled Aaron Rodgers. And, of course, Aaron Rodgers is his boy. And, in fact, all this happened right about the time they were scheduled to play golf together. Hilarious. These guys are tight. Last week, this is Florio. Last week, former Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers told the world about the way the team treated him on the way out the door. Former Jets and now Rams receiver Davante Adams already knew about it. Quote, we golfed together on Wednesday, February 5th in Vegas at Shadow Creek. And then Rodgers told me he was going to meet with the Jets on Thursday, February 6th. And then come back and we'd play again on Friday. Adams recently told Mike Silver of theathletic.com, and he was just in such a bad mood after the meeting that he hit me up and was like, I'm not coming back, bro. He's like, this is horrible. They just disrespected me completely. Adams' first reaction was to regard it as an exaggeration. I thought he was being a little dramatic at first, Adams told Silver. I'm like, bro, don't paraphrase it. How did he say this? But that's how he said it, and I was shocked because I didn't think anybody had the balls to do that, for lack of a better words, to hit him with it like that, just flat out. Yeah, I think we're going to do something different. We're going to move in a different direction. It was shocking, but right from that moment, I knew there was no chance I'd be back there. Wow. So he was like, bump that. We found out yesterday, and I said it was a possible indication that I've continued to believe he's got some kind of deal worked out with the Steelers already. All right. And so we saw yesterday Cam Hayward came out, and there's a lot of Jets fans. I guess it's Jets fans, or I wonder if it's people that just hate Aaron Rodgers for reasons that, by the way, have nothing to do with football. I think we all know what those reasons are. And the fact that, I said it was if the Jets handled this in the exact way that Rodgers told the story, then it was extremely disrespectful to do a 4-time MVP, first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback that way. You just can't do it. You can't handle that like that as an organization, as a professional organization. And unfortunately for the Jets, this is the kind of history they got. And it's like, no matter who the hell they hire for any of these positions, yesterday the Jets general manager decided to dodge questions about this. Didn't want to take any responsibility, despite the fact, and I think this is what caught Rodgers off guard. Evidently, he had talks with Chris Johnson and the general manager prior to flying out there to New York. So he was expecting something different based on those conversations. And I think he got blindsided, and that's his reaction. Adams wouldn't have been staying with the Jets without a drastically revised contract. His salary was due to mushroom in 2025 as part of a bump to bump up the APY on his 5-year deal with the Raiders. With Rodgers leaving, there wouldn't have been a reason to keep Rodgers' close friend. Well, maybe not, but 85 for 1,063 and 8 touchdowns might have been a reason. Seriously. You got him paired up with Garrett Wilson. You're looking pretty good at the wide receiver spot. Justin Fields might wouldn't have actually kept him. Who knows? All right. But there was a part of this, and I went to the main article. He is talking about dysfunction in organizations. In the wake of dismal experiences with the Raiders and the Jets, Adams was hell-bent on joining a stable organization accustomed to success and affirming that he's not a catalyst for the toxicity. I will give him self-awareness. He's starting to wonder if it's him. Is he the problem in some of these stops? Well, first, I got to make sure it's not me, Adams said, smiling for effect during the interview. So we're going to go over there and see. If it gets dysfunctional, it means that I was the one making those organizations dysfunctional. That's hilarious. Then his expression turned serious. Adams added, quote, "This is true optimism versus hoping." That's pretty hilarious. But at least he's got some self-awareness. I saw that and was like, well, he's got self-awareness to at least wonder, is it me and not them? But here's the problem with that way of thinking from him. The Raiders have been dysfunctional, and so have the Jets. And anybody with half a brain can see that, for crying out loud. I mean, honestly. Now, the one thing I've always been critical of him about is he was one of the disgruntled Raiders that lobbied to get Josh McDaniels out the door. Then he lobbied to get Antonio Pierce hired, and then turned around and wanted a trade to the Jets. And I've always been like, wait, what? And evidently, he didn't get along with Antonio Pierce either. So, something to that effect anyway. In fact, I think that is exactly it. He ended up not getting along with Antonio Pierce after not getting along with Josh McDaniels. Well, is it you or is it me? I don't know. But I certainly don't blame him for not staying with the Jets after hearing how Rodgers was handled. Here's the deal we need to understand about this. The people taking victory laps over how Rodgers was disrespected. There's none of these players in the NFL that's okay with the way he was treated by Aaron Glenn. They're not. They're pissed. That's one of their own who's an all-time great. All these players realize where Aaron Rodgers stands in the echelon of NFL play. I mean, he's a top 10, at worst, top 12 quarterback to ever play the game. And these players know that and respect him for that. All right? I don't know that they respect him on the level these guys respected Tom Brady, but you get the point. It's pretty damn close. So, no. Because not only that, because they're like, I don't want to be handled with that kind of bullshit, half-cocked. Because Rodgers was pretty clear. Aaron Glenn had sort of an ego in all this, which is weird because you're dealing with Aaron Rodgers. And why are you making this personal? You admitted you don't know him, and he said, I don't know you either. Okay. I mean, is this some kind of Lions, ex-Packers, whatever? It just seems like BS. But I thought that was interesting. Adams said as soon as he heard that, he was like, nah, I'm not staying with the Jets. We'll see. I know one thing. Cooper Kupp's gone in L.A. Adams, Puka Nacua. Adams could put up some huge numbers with Matthew Stafford. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.